Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to sunny California. Not, but we need the rain, so we're not complaining. Anyway, it seems like it'd be a lot easier to show a video than type a lot of words to kind of go over what I've gotten done this weekend so far. So I got the all the instruments wired up in the instrument pod here, down here. Key switch, the Tiny Tac, the CHT, EGT are all connected up and working right. Well, I think the gauges are working right. I haven't tested those yet. I know the ignition switch and the green switch, which I'm going to use for the strobe, are working just fine. The red switch is going to be the kill switch. So we got we get a loud click when we turn to the start position. And if we flip the strobe light on, I don't know if this shows up in the video or not, but trust me, it's flashing. We'll turn that back off, turn that off. The wiring for the strobe I'm going to put inside the same type of plastic tubing that we use for this, the wiring that goes from the instrument pod back. I got to get a couple more cushion clamps for that, and that'll be nice and secure. Anyway, I'm going to stuff that strobe wiring inside of that. It's twisted. I don't think it's going to be much interference to my handheld radio, but just in case, it's always good to twist the wires on those strobes. Kind of cuts down on the noise. I originally had the starter solenoid, I keep wanting to call it a contactor. I originally had it in the wrong place. It goes on the front of the engine mount plate, and I had it underneath in there. That's taped, by the way, there. And tape and a couple of lightning holes. So yeah, I just made my ultralight a little bit lighter. Anyway, I got it wired up to the starter. I got the CHT and the EGT probes wired up, and they go down over here to this loom, which I'll get to in a second. I added a fuse to that comes from the regulator, and that red wire is going to go to the battery. It's not hooked up yet. I just have a little temporary jumper here so I can show off the strobe light and the solenoid actually working. But yeah, I'm going to have a fuse there for the regulator going to the battery as a just in case. Not too much going on back here. I still got to do something here. I think this is the overflow. I'm not sure. Or sorry, this right here. I need to address that still. This is for the primer lines. You will notice that I did not use Oetiker clamps. Everywhere I had fuel line, I used safety wire. That's kind of a holdover from my airplane days. Just can't help it. I've still got to add one there on the fuel pump outlet. But I've got the rest of them safety wired all the way down. Oops, except that spot I missed right there. All the way on down. And then I texted a question to Tom Connolly about this fuel valve hookup and how best to secure it. So I'm waiting to do anything with that to make sure it's nice and secure in the way it should be. Got the fuel tank vent in, and it goes up here. I don't know if you can see that with all the glare. I'm going to probably make that tube face forward just a little bit more, get a little bit of ram air pressure into the tank. There's the Tiny Tac connection and the ground. Various and sundry wiring. This end of the wire loom, I need a little bit longer bolt to secure it, so I'm going to get one of those. Loom goes off and does what it does. let's see what else. Well, you can see the primer right there. Got the primer line hooked up. Goes from this little T here over to the carb, which I was just showing you a second ago. And about 100 million tie wraps holding it all together, some of which I still need to trim. I don't know how we built airplanes without tie wraps, to be honest. I think it's tie wraps that actually makes them fly, not money. So there's the fuel primer. Tom's instructions said something about putting it on the engine plate, but it just seemed to work so well right there. I'm gonna, here's the squeeze bulb, here's the primer. I don't know, just seems to make sense, so that's where I'm gonna leave it. Not real happy with these mounts for the fuel hose. So I may go to some 8L clamps for that, cushion clamps. We'll see. See what we end up with. What else we doing? I'm hoping to get to the throttle sometime in the next couple of days. Get the throttle cable hooked up. And I still need to secure the carb a little better. It still kind of slides around. I think that's about all the progress I've made on this. It's looking more and more like it's almost ready to do something with. One other thing I got to do is I got to safety wire these bolts down here. See if I can see them. Yeah, these engine bolts. You can see the safety wire holes there. So I'm going to safety wire those to make sure they are nice and secure. See them in there. There's a safety wire hole. Another safety wire hole. My reflection in the beautiful powder coat finish of the P3 Lite. And I think that's about it for my update. So we're very, very, very close. Once I get everything all together on this, everything all connected up, then we're going to grab that prop over there and stick it on the back here and make it look like a real powered parachute. The canopy is still in the trailer that I also got from Six Shooter, so it's in there. I'm probably going to wait to put that on until I can get up there and get with Mr. Schwartz to give everything a once over and get some ideas from him. I know Ken has some ideas on the fuel pump, and I'm open to those ideas. I can't see how to mount that anywhere up here, which is where ideally it should go, and everybody kind of agrees that it should go there, but there's just no good way it could go that I could see. Six Shooter itself says they've never had any issues reported. I know Ken's has experienced some issues, but we may have to just leave it there unless we can find a better way to mount it. Jaybird, who makes the engine, they just let the fuel pump hang from the pulse line that comes out of the crankcase right there. So I don't know about that, but they don't seem to have any problem with that. So it's not rocket scientists. It's not rocket science. We're just trying to get in the air. We're not trying to go to Mars, but we do want it to be as safe as it can possibly be. So anyway, that's the update, and thanks for sitting through this long, drawn-out ordeal. We'll catch you guys later.